Good morning, everyone. Today's Monday, February the 25th. This is the Futures in 5, and we are taking a look at the markets as they sit this morning with more upward pressure. Folks, we've got a lot of bullish motion. Here is the old support level that we're looking at. We broke out of this zone. This zone was about 20 points wide. We are up at the 50% marker of that. That normally gives us a little bit of trouble. So if we just use those regular numbers from the range to the range, 50% levels normally give us a little trouble. So we have been choking around there. You can see the volume here packing into the space, and then this very thin area that everyone popped up over and now holding with a number of sellers sitting here at 2807 as that expansion event. First thing we have to do is take a look at the press forward. All the pullbacks are into buy zones. Look for old resistance to be tested as new support. I know that sounds really simplistic, but it really does work much of the time. The one problem we have this morning across the board with all our charts is technical divergence. But we are sitting here at these edges in the same kinds of breakout patterns. Now our NQ doesn't look like it has that much divergence. It's gapping up, moving over the range, and its range is a little bit wider, right? So it's about 90 points wide. So that gives us a 45-point range, and wouldn't you know it, we're stalling out right there at that edge. So we've got to think about those things in terms of saying, hey, listen, is it more reasonable that I try to get along on my pullback event? And that's what it seems like to me. Now, if you think about, hey, this is my new formation. Should I wait for a higher low and try to move up? Do I wait for this deep low and try to move up? You're going to have to manage that according to what it is that your time frames are giving you in general. If you're trading much tighter than a 4-hour, you can move in the direction of your candlesticks. My suspicion is that we fade into the space and then begin another move in whatever direction it might go. All right, so here we have to look at this. Ideally, it's going to be about 7,100, maybe a little bit deeper, though I doubt it because this is not that technically divergent and it's still bullish. We're going to have to look for some kind of topping event to see ourselves break down. And so far, look at the last few waves. We come up to the area, fade into the old breakout area, pop up, move into the next step, dip pretty deep into this space. And so we could be seeing another pretty deep dip or a shallow dip that exhausts after moving higher. Bigger numbers coming up into this area really end up about at 7,200, but that's a lot of motion in between there. So we'll see what goes on. Right now we can see we've got a lot of sellers sitting in this area and they've started this fade down. So I would wait from that perspective. Dow, the mini Dow, really still creeping upward. This one's holding that same range. If we just look at the corner of the big motion, we've got about 200 points sitting, from here to up here. Just a little bit over 200 points. So, if we're looking at this at maybe 125 points to the upside, again, we've got ourselves coming right into this edge. My suspicion it's probably around this zone. Up here, you can see 68 being where a lot of folks are sitting in the sell zone, right? That's what we're looking for. Overall, pullbacks, buy zones, ideally, listen, if it fades and breaks down here and stops you out, if you say, hey, I'm waiting for my limit order, and it stops you out, and then it comes back and holds it, as long as you're bullish, you've got upside pressure. This is a very bullish market. All right, oil just took a monster dip, but interestingly, take a look at how you can see those things coming about. See this move upward here? Upward motion, downward momentum. And downward momentum always gives you the outside shot that this is what you're going to run into. But folks, that's going to be your first line of support in the sand right there at about 55.60. and then potentially a bit lower, but you're going to see buyers try to come into the mix right here. They were there here, they were there here, they were there here. They're going to try and come in. The question is, can they hold it? And if not, how far do they have to go down to work off this negative drift? My thought is, let that momentum come into the zero edge. Ultimately, we're going to see another region here close to our zone that gives us a bounce factor. All right. Lastly, we'll take a look at gold. Gold is doing really nicely, holding a support. That support action looks like it's going to give us upside pressure. We're looking at right around 1323 as our key support area. So the closer you get into that one for a bounce, the better it is. We might have to take it somewhere around here at last week's volume point of control, and that's really around 27. So you think to yourself, can I hold 30 ticks here for me to move up? But this one is going to try and hold its upward pressure. A lot of folks are trading this very, very bullishly, but you got to watch what's happening, particularly now as momentum has slipped into the neutral zone. All right, good luck trading today, folks. Keep alert, watch your size because of this divergent action.